Trucks rolling off of pit road as we're getting ready for the Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple. A gorgeous day here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Take a look at the numbers for this 2-mile racetrack in our Camping World track description.
Incredible speeds here, upwards of 190 miles an hour as you enter an 18-degree corner. Relatively flat for these kind of speeds.
Yeah, and it's a sharp turn down into turn 3, and you're running, like you said, 190 miles an hour. Action picks up in a hurry.
Our Royal Purple race analysis showing 100 laps, 200 miles.
See, pit window is about 37 to 42 laps. These guys were not able to top them off after qualifying, so first stop will be anywhere from 32 to 35 laps. And we expect them to do 2 pit stops. Again, look for some green flag pit stops potentially.
Let's go trackside. Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. The pit sign behind me for Matt Crafton is Mighty Mouse, and it's been that kind of a season for the 88 team. They're the only team that's completed 100% of the laps and the only team that's had top 10 finishes in each of our races. When we look back at Kansas City earlier this year, Matt Crafton went to victory lane. It was a great win for this team, and they have that very same truck with them here today. That truck's got a win and 2 fourth places this season. But when we come to Michigan, it's been an awful rough track for Matt Crafton. His average finish at this track is 19, and he has 4 DNFs. They really have a big hurdle in front of him today. Matt Crafton says if I get a top 10 at Michigan today, it'd be like a win. Hermie?
Well, Ray, when the green flag drops today at Michigan, there'll only be one driver in the field that's been to victory lane here prior in a Camping World Truck Series race. That is Brendan Gauntt in the 62 truck. And they've had a nice season, a lot of top 5s. They've really shown a lot of progress, especially on mile-and-a-half racetracks. But look at the bottom of that graphic. 145 starts since Brendan Gauntt's last win. That was in Texas in October of 2003. This team knows, and most importantly, Brendan Gauntt knows, if they're going to seriously contend for this championship and put pressure on Matt Crafton, they need to go to victory lane starting today. Rick?
Thanks, Hermie. Where else in sports can you talk to the main athlete about to compete than right here in NASCAR? Phil?
Let's see if we can talk to Brendan. Hey, Brendan Gauntt. Phil Parsons up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha, Mr. Parsons. Welcome to Fox Sports 1. Happy to be here.
Well, welcome yourself. Hey, you know the way to victory lane here. You did it 10 years ago in dominating fashion. I talked to you yesterday. You said you had a great truck. You got enough to get there again?
I think so, but first I got to say happy anniversary to my wife. I've got a little my side job on my anniversary day, so happy anniversary, Tatum. I think our South Point Chevrolet is going to be definitely quick enough. Can't believe we qualified this far up front. You know, that's not normally me and Shane Wilson's MO. We're normally 6 to 8, 6 to 10 type range, but this thing was great in race trim and dead neutral behind people. Hopefully it stays that way today with the heat of the day and the grease, and we'll go try to be fast.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
So we have Brendan Gauntt. Got to be one of our favorites. We're riding along with a few different drivers. Guys, take us through those.
We're going to ride along with Ryan Blaney. He has hundreds of Cooper Standard guests here to cheer him on. He's our most recent winner from Pocono a couple of weeks ago. He will start his Ford from the 19th spot.
Let's hop up to row 5, Phil, and climb on board with Joey Coulter. He's got the Fox Sports 1 colors on his truck. It's a backup truck. Harold Hawley and that team did an amazing job preparing that truck for the qualifying run. Got a top 10 start. The Fox Sports 1 colors all over that truck. Look for Joey Coulter, your pole sitter from a year ago here, to be strong in the race.
We're also going to ride along with a driver that finished second to Blaney at Pocono. Miguel Paludo got his best career finish, and he will start his AccuDoc Solution Chevy from the 8th spot.
Let's go up to the 7th spot and ride along with Kyle Busch. We talked to him before the race. Never got a win here at Michigan. Always close. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride. But today, look for him to weave his way through traffic. The reason why this race is going to be so entertaining on Fox Sports 1 is because the fastest trucks necessarily aren't starting in the front. They're going to come from everywhere, including row 4.
And Mikey, you just mentioned big names carrying our cameras starting back in 7th. I mean, Kyle Busch has been so close to winning this race, but he's going to have to come from the 7th starting position if he wants to get up front to win it.
How about Joey Logano? He's back in row number 10 alongside his teammate Ryan Blaney. We know they're going to be strong.
Jeb Burton has decided that the outside line is where he wants to start this race. He has the choice after winning the pole earlier today. So Jeb Burton will bring the field to the green flag from the outside row or outside line of row number 1. Joey Logano, as you mentioned, starting back in the 20th position. Logano has won in the Nationwide Series. He's won in the Cup Series, but he's never won in the Truck Series. 23 drivers, including you, Michael Waltrip, have won in all 3 of NASCAR's top 3 series. Joey Logano wants to add his name to that list.
Been close already, and he's going to get that accomplishment done, I believe. But man, there's all kinds of other first-time winners, Rick, that I believe he's going to have to fight through. Look at Bubba Wallace. He's been strong all season long. And our international flavor, Quiroga and Pluto, both fast week in and week out, Hermie. So who knows who's going to win this baby?
Yeah, you guys, we've been talking all weekend long really about how this racetrack is being compared more and more to Daytona and Talladega. Well, Mike Hillman Jr., who's the crew chief for Jeff Burton, came on the radio, said something you wouldn't normally hear at Michigan. He said it doesn't matter if we're 5th, anywhere in the top 5 until 10 to go. We're going to start racing with 10 to go and make our way to the front. Ray?
Joey Logano rolls off 20th today, but yesterday he practiced being up front and dropping to the back and working that groove and trying to get up and make those slingshot moves. I asked him before the race started, can you get to the front? He said, give me 15 or 20 laps, I'll be there.
Don't you love that? He thinks he can race all the way to the front in just 10 or 15 laps. A truck a lap he's got to pass to do that.
He's got 100 laps. Why would he want to do it so early?
These boys are going to be in a hurry, Rick, and it's going to be evident as soon as they wave the green flag. Watch them flare out and go into turn 1 like it's a 1-lap race.
Our drivers already talking about saving fuel under caution. Well, they're about to put the pedal to the metal. Green flag is in the air. We're underway from Michigan. Two and 3 wide already going into turn number 1.
That's a huge surprise that we're 3 wide.
There are 3 grooves, a little bobble out of Ron Hornaday in the 9, that green truck on the outside.
Well, that was 3 wide. Let's see if we can make it 4 down here in turn 3. Turn 3's a lot sharper.
And around goes the 29. Ryan Blaney into the wall early.
Wow. Blaney was 3rd in the points coming in here.
A lot of damage to that Cooper Standard truck.
Ryan Blaney, most recent winner in the Camping World Truck Series, won at Pocono and doesn't even get out of turn number 2 in the next race.
That explains how tough NASCAR racing is. The last flag he saw was the checkered at Pocono. He only saw the green here, didn't make it another lap.
Looked like Bubba Wallace was going to the inside to try to make it 3 wide. Ryan had already committed to the inside of the racetrack, and he had to turn left to avoid Bubba Wallace and couldn't control it.
Wow, that's just such a surprise for that young man. Watch Bubba make the move to the bottom. Blaney's already there. They make contact. Bubba's lucky he doesn't go around.
And a tough break for Ryan Blaney. Good friends with Bubba Wallace.
Might not be such good friends after this one.
Bubba had no idea that Blaney was down there. I don't believe he saw an opportunity to make it 4 wide like we talked about. Was going to jump on that opportunity. Remember, these are young guys, young racers, both Bubba and Ryan Blaney. Not a lot of experience, but a lot of talent and a lot of enthusiasm.
Ryan Blaney, just 19 years old. Darrell Wallace Jr., we call him Bubba. He's also 19.
Well, there was no intent there. I mean, Bubba Wallace did not realize that Ryan had his front end up beside the 54 truck of Bubba Wallace.
That's all about drafting and closing rates. He had a good run off that corner, caught a draft, had a huge opportunity to pass, tried to take advantage of it, and caused a crash.
Ryan Blaney climbed out of the truck and will take the mandatory ride to the infield care center. Our first caution out in Michigan. 29 being towed back into the garage. Ryan Blaney couldn't get through turn number 2 without contact from the 54 of Darrell Wallace Jr., and that sent the 29 into the inside wall.
There's a lot of things going on that first lap. Check out the congestion up ahead. That big draft is the reason why Darrell Wallace Jr. was able to get such a run, and that caused the crash that involved his buddy Ryan Blaney. They Dougie together. They have fun together.
Well, this is from Ryan's onboard. Watch that 54 right there. That's Bubba Wallace. He turns left. He's going to go to the inside of the 60. And unfortunately, Ryan had already had his nose up in there.
So unfortunate, too. Cooper Standard, the sponsor on board, they have 2,000 employees here watching, and they don't get through the first lap.
This also went on that first lap. Watch now. There's the 3 of Ty Dillon. There's the 98 of Johnny Sauter. Ty moves up. Johnny was going to go up through the middle. Remember, these guys have had some incidents here in recent weeks.
They wrecked at Eldora together. They wrecked at Pocono together. Check out the problems these two have had. And it happened again on the first lap. This is at Eldora. Ty squeezes Johnny up into the fence. They had words afterwards. And then in the later in the race.
More contact. This happened several times. That's Pocono.
That was Pocono at 190 miles an hour there. That's a little bit different than Eldora. You can see Johnny Sauter comes up to discuss his displeasure with Ty Dillon's move, and it continues after the race. But on the first lap, there was some damage to the 98 truck of Johnny Sauter. Talk about in practice leading up to the race today, he has one of the fastest trucks in Michigan. He's already bent his fender. You saw the contact he made with Ty Dillon. That could hurt his chances today.
NASCAR's added one more lap of caution so that they can continue to clean up the track. So we'll take a quick break and be right back for the green flag coming back out here at Michigan. Welcome back. Michigan National Guard 200 is underway. 4 of the 5 laps complete have been completed under caution. The first caution came out on lap number 1. Ryan Blaney goes into the inside wall after a little help from Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 54.
A lot of damage to that 29 truck. Does not have a did not finish a DNF this year, so hopefully his guys can get to work on that truck and get it back on the racetrack. Came in here 3rd in points after a big jump at Pocono.
I bet you Brad Keselowski says, let's get that fixed for our 2,000 sponsor folks that are up in the stands so they can at least see us make some laps. We're racing for a championship too. Every point matters.
Jeb Burton once again chooses the outside line for the restart. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway.
Johnny Sauter starting at the back of this big snarling pack, trying to work his way back to the front. Fast truck, and it got damage on the first lap, along with obviously what happened to Blaney.
Also got a little bit of fuel in that 98 truck. That could work out well for him.
What about Kyle Busch? He decides to take him 3 wide on the high side, drives around the outside.
Brennan Gaughan trying to make that lower line work.
Here comes Miguel Paludo up the bottom.
He's that green and black truck. And there's the red and black truck 31, his teammate right behind him, James Busher.
And look at Max Gresham in that 8 truck. He pushed up through the middle, making a strong run early in the going.
Jeb Burton, chased by that 88 of Matt Crafton, will lead this green flag lap.
Joey Logano in that blue truck down on the bottom below the white line, making it about 4 wide.
Yeah, look at him go there.
Logano in the 19 makes the move on the inside of Joey Coulter, who we're riding along with. 3 wide in front of him.
Look at all the differing speeds. You get in a corner with a bad... Oh! John West Townley in the 7 truck. He almost spins around right in the middle of that pack. That's loose right there.
Big time
West was down on the bottom of the racetrack, luckily, because he had to turn hard left to save that truck.
I talked about the differing lines. That was a great example. You could see Hornaday, he was up the track a little bit. His speed through the center of the corner was much greater than Kyle Busch, who drove to the bottom of the track to try to make the move. And look at all the ground he's losing now on the straightaway. Hornaday, Brendan Gaughan, all those trucks, Max Gresham get around Kyle Busch.
Top 2 trying to pull away from the rest of the pack. It's Jeb Burton out front, Matt Crafton, Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday, and Max Gresham, your top 5.
That last lap that Jeb Burton ran was faster than the old track record set last year.
And he's happy right now. Jeb Burton is leading the race. You'll be like, yeah, right, Mike, I know he's happy. He's leading the race. But we're wondering how that truck will react when it gets back in traffic, if it ever does. He had such lightning speed during qualifying. Won the pole by 2 or 3 tenths of a second. And that means his aerodynamic package is really tuned up. Tuned to the nth degree. We saw John West Townley get loose right here. Watch the 7 truck on the bottom of the screen. That is loose. That is really loose.
That's about 30 degrees loose right there.
We're wondering if Jeb Burton gets back in the traffic, how his truck's going to react. Will it do what Townley's does? You can see the truck on the outside of John West Townley. Sideways he goes.
Brendan Newberry in the 24 was just on the outside of the 7. A lot of times on 1.5-mile tracks, and now we're seeing it on this 2-mile track, when a truck goes close to you on the outside, it sucks the air off of that spoiler and gets you loose. Looked like John West Townley experienced a little of that coming out of 2.
See Max Gresham, that black and blue truck there, number 8 on the inside, pulling Miguel Paludo in the 32 truck to get by Ron Hornaday, who's driving the 9.
10 laps complete. Burton out front, Crafton running second. Then it's Timothy Peters, Kyle Busch, Max Gresham, your top 5. Miguel Paludo has dropped back to the 7th spot now as Hornaday's moved up to 6. Ty Dillon, Joey Logano, and Herman Quiroga, your top 10. Let's go into the infield to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. Every sport has highs and lows, but it's hard to imagine what this one's like. From victory lane at Pocono, then to the first truck out. Ryan, how in the world does that happen?
I don't know. You know, from my perspective, it looks like 54 just turned left on us and wrecked us. I'm not sure I haven't seen a replay. I don't know if he got hit from above or what, but I know he just came across our nose and unfortunately put us in the wall. So it was just disappointment. I know we would have had a great truck today, and I thought we would have raced really well. And it's just unfortunate, you know, like you said, going from high highs to, you know, dead last here in truck race and being wrecked. But, you know, this BKR team will fight back, and we'll get our Cooper Standard 4 and back up and running pretty good here soon.
All right, good luck to you. He moved up 5 spots in the points after that win at Pocono, but this one's going to be a big blow to the Team 29.
Oh,
slow on the track, the 16 of Brett Moffitt.
Another big blow, Ray. It looked like Brett Moffitt driving that 16 truck for Shigeru. Who?
Yeah, right front tire is down now on that truck. That's Shige Hattori's truck, brand new team. What, left side of your screen, that's the 16 truck. He gets a little bit out of the groove there. He had the 18 inside him and just made a little bit of contact at the exit of the corner.
But you saw that truck buff it around when he hit the wall. That's pretty significant contact. He was running 13th position when he got in the wall. Tough break for that whole Hattori team. Brett Moffitt, young driver trying to make laps and learn, and this is going to set him back.
We're used to seeing him in the K&N Series, a multi-time winner in the K&N Series, racing for the championship this year.
By the way, consistently top 10 drivers are running faster lap times than the old track record was. That's the pace these guys are setting, and so far, Jeb Burton's strategy of being trimmed out and in the front is working perfectly.
We finished 11 races already in the 2013 season, and the top 2 in points are currently the top 2 here at Michigan. Jeb Burton is second in the point standings, 52 points behind the guy who is currently behind him, Matt Crafton.
We've talked about it. What an amazing season Matt Crafton has had. All top 10 finishes, all 11 races, had that big win at Kansas. He is doing everything right, but all his chasers are saying, well, he hasn't had his bad race yet. He hasn't had any engine failures. He hasn't had any accidents. He said, we're waiting for that to happen as we watch Ty Dillon, the 3 truck, pull right up on the back bumper of the 8 truck of Max Gresham.
You know, and it's interesting, Phil, that you say that about Crafton. He has a 52-point lead, but it's a log jam from second all the way back to 10th. So one stumble by Crafton, there's a whole lot of guys that come into this championship battle. And that's what a whole lot of guys are counting on happening.
How about Darrell Wallace making the pass on the 57? It looks like Norm Benning a little bit slow on the track now in that 57. But Darrell Wallace Jr. in the 54 had to go all the way down to the bottom of the track to get by. We see these two continue side by side. Ty Dillon in the 3 on the inside, trying to get by the 8 of Max Gresham on the outside. And Jennifer Jo Cobb in the 10, slow on the apron of this track. See if she can make her way all the way back around to pit road. It's
going to be difficult if she's not under power to get back to their caution. Like is out now. They realize that she's not going to be able to get back around.
In the setup show, we talked about these trucks are aerodynamic bricks. How do you push them through the air? Well, you got to have about 700 horsepower to push them through the air. Very good. It looks like Jennifer didn't have any, and that's why it came to a stop.
Trying to find a way to get into the infield where she won't have to go all the way through turns 3 and 4, and it looks as though she'll do it. Well, let's head out to L.A. for a Fox Sports 1 news update with Julie Stewart-Binks. Under the second caution from Michigan International Speedway as the Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple is underway. 17 laps complete of the 100 scheduled for today's race, and quite a few trucks making their way onto pit road under this caution. Differing strategies, some getting fuel only, some going with Goodyear tires as well.
Phil, they could only run about 15 more laps, so this doesn't get them into a pit window. They'll still need another couple of stops, but still, you want to make sure that you don't get caught out there under.
Have to make a green flag.
Exactly. When your competition, you kind of want to do what everybody else does at this point in the race. You don't want to do anything that jeopardizes your chance to win. If the majority of guys come to pit road and you've got a fast truck, you better come with them.
An incredible job by Joey Logano's crew to get him out second. He gained 5 spots on pit road, and that's what we were talking about with that experience. The guys that make multiple pit stops, multiple green flag pit stops even every weekend in the Cup Series. Joey Logano and his crew got it done on pit road.
Yeah, he probably charged to his box a little bit faster than some of the guys that don't make that many pit stops, because think about this. You've got your spotter and your crew chief in your ear. If you're a young cat, say you're Darrell Wallace Jr., 19 years old, not a lot of pit stop experience, they say don't don't slide your tires. Well, you creep into your pit box so you don't slide your tires. Joey Logano's done this enough to where he knows he can get in there pretty fast and still not slide his tires. So there's different agendas when you come to pit road, and that picks up all those precious spots and that precious track position.
And that's exactly what Jeb Burton did. He creeped into his pit stall, but was still able to get out in front. Next on Fox Sports 1, don't miss the premiere of Fox Sports One-on-One with a rare conversation between two NFL legends. Michael Strahan talks with Tom Brady. It's Fox Sports One-on-One. That debuts right after the race. Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple, about to go back to green. 19 laps complete of the 100. Jeb Burton's been out front. He had the fastest truck, set the track record in qualifying earlier, and has been able to check out on the field once the green flag goes in the air.
Looks like he wants Joey Logano's lane. Crowded Joey down and faded up.
You want it both, outside and inside.
Look at Timothy Peters in that green truck diving to the bottom and bringing Joey Coulter with him. That's what we talked about, fanning out 3 and 4 wide. It's going to happen on every restart.
Jeb Burton's going to have his hands full right now. Joey Logano wants that lead.
But he's going to have a strong run on that high side with Matt Crafton pushing in that yellow truck. Those two will go straight to the front.
Jeb Burton able to sneak past that 19 of Joey Logano as he drops back to almost 5th as they enter 3rd.
Yeah, Matt Crafton was the first truck off of pit road that put 2 tires on, so he came out 4th with 2 right side tires.
It's a good call. It takes about as long to get 2 tires as it will to put that much gas in it. Look at that draft. Kyle Busch to the bottom.
Look at that speed, 189 miles an hour.
And he's getting past.
Slingshot move. He tried to get by that 19 of Joey Logano. Didn't make the pass, but now on the bottom of the track, making up room, a little bit loose. Hangs on to it.
He was wide open till the moment that truck got loose.
And look what it cost him. What about that down the front straightaway? He's running 188 miles an hour and getting passed by another pickup truck on the outside.
Kyle Busch drops back in the field. We were riding along. Take a look from the outside.
He had never let off the throttle. So right there when that thing wiggled, fortunately, he gave Johnny Sauter, the 98 truck, enough room on the outside.
Now he tucks in behind the 31 of James Busher.
James dives to the bottom. I don't think he wanted much to do with Kyle at that point.
Herman Quiroga, the 77 truck, on the bottom of a 3-wide battle.
Joey Logano slides out of the middle up in front of the 54. Darrell Wallace Jr. riding along with Kyle Busch once again. Close call there as James Busher came up the racetrack.
There's a black and orange number 3 truck of Ty Dillon on the inside of James Busher in the 31 truck.
Jeb Burton continues to lead at Michigan. Got Matt Crafton tucked in behind him. Yesterday I asked Matt Crafton, has your philosophy changed as you go into each race now that you have such a considerable lead, 52 points? He said, well, I'm looking for top 5s now. I was looking for wins earlier, but top 5s is what we're shooting for now.
How about Johnny Sauter that had to make a pit stop after the contact on the first lap? Oh, watch Paluto make some contact.
Paluto into Brendan Newberry. Those two continuing to try to settle for position. 4 wide once again. Joey Coulter moves to the inside.
Wow. This is intense racing. You can see everybody's right on the edge of control. That's why when they get side by side, sometimes they get loose. We saw one of the best in truck racing history, Kyle Busch, about lose his truck underneath. But other guys are making a lot of progress. Phil, you touched on it. Johnny Sauter, early pit stop, lost all his track position. He's charged all the way to the 4th spot. Everybody talked about Sauter having the truck maybe to beat today, and it looks like everybody was right.
We go to Armstrong in the 60, just in front of Joey Coulter as they work down the backstretch now, starting to get into single file line. That won't last long.
Everybody can breathe here for a moment.
There's Johnny Sauter.
What about Max Gresham? Great run for Max, but Johnny's got to run on the bottom. Here, if Logano will go with Joey, they can make the pass, but it looks like Joey is going to push Gresham back by Sauter. So you see Sauter down on the inside in that 98 truck. He had the big run, but the aerodynamic push that the 19 truck gave the 8 truck of Max Gresham got them right around Sauter.
I think Joey wanted to be around Sauter more than he wanted to be hung on the inside of Max Gresham after he pushed Sauter by.
And again, you say push, the bumpers never, they don't touch, but the air is giving them both enough of an advantage that they can get by a single truck.
This is very difficult to do what Ty Dillon's trying to accomplish now. Drives on the bottom.
Oh, and around goes Max Gresham in the 8. He's going to collect the 98 of Johnny Sauter. Also in that, it looks like the 19.
No, that's
the
Bubba
54
Wallace.
of Bubba Wallace is involved.
Boy, the tough luck continues for that 98 of Johnny
Minimal
Sauter.
damage here. Get it going now. Get it
That was just a tough break. Gresham in the 8 truck spun around, and there was nowhere for Bubba Wallace in that 54 or Johnny Sauter to go. All 3 of those guys running inside the top 10, 3rd, 4th, and 6th when the contact happened.
Well, a lot of damage to Johnny Sauter's Toyota. Wow.
Carolina Nut Company 98 of Johnny Sauter will make his way into the garage area to work on the back end of that truck.
And this is the truck that started that.
And it doesn't look like there's damage to the 8, but there's got to be a little damage to the left side.
Oh, there's definitely damage. Just goes around coming off the turn. Just
got loose. The 19 of Joey Logano pulled up on the back bumper. He got loose, and Johnny had already come in. Johnny may have been able to avoid him by turning left, but Bubba Wallace was there with nowhere to go.
Yeah, Johnny had it woed up, and it looked like had a real shot at getting on the bottom.
Boy, Ryan Sieg does a nice job at 39 truck avoiding them.
Another look at the 8 getting sideways.
Yeah, I'm like you. I really think Johnny Sauter had slowed his speed enough that he was going to be able to turn around them. But when Bubba got there, Bubba had no idea. He came along late, ran into Johnny.
Right side of the truck looks good. Left side of the truck, not so much. And there you see the 54 of Darrell Wallace Jr. also caught up in this, as well as the 98 of Johnny Sauter. One of the best trucks, the 98 of Sauter, gets caught up in this mess. Close call there. The Toyota care of Kyle Busch. Wednesday, Fox Sports 1's coverage of NASCAR moves to Bristol, beginning with 2 sessions of Camping World Truck Series practice, followed by Camping World Truck Series racing. Fox Sports 1 is America's new sports network and your home for complete NASCAR coverage. Under caution once again at Michigan International Speedway. This time it was Max Gresham in the 8. Got sideways, collected the 54 of Darrell Wallace Jr. as well as the 98.
See, Max just gets a little bit loose with 19 truck right up behind him. Johnny Sauter had slowed down, was getting ready to turn underneath Max, and Bubba came along, made contact, and pushed Johnny into the 8 truck.
Ryan Sieg in the 39 took evasive action. He was able to go through the grass and didn't have the dejected look like Darrell Wallace Jr. does. 30 laps in the books of this 100-lap race for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Johnny Sauter came on the radio as he was making his way back into the garage area and said, if we ever get to race this thing, it's going to be good. He felt very confident with this truck. The only problem was he got caught up in an incident not of his making.
Yeah, and Johnny helped direct the repairs of this truck. He said, I got hit on every corner. The toe in the front end wheels still feel like they're lined up, so it's gonna take a lot of body work. But I think Johnny feels like he's gonna get back in the race, and contrary to what Ryan Blaney thought when we interviewed him earlier, he's out. His truck is torn up too bad to continue. So tough last place finish. It's a shame that they couldn't have just pieced it together and run a few laps. He'd gained a lot of spots, but not in the cards today. Hermie, what's going on with Brendan Gaughan?
Well, we got a heck of a battle up front all day, but one driver who's not been a part of that is the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. He qualified second, but dropped right outside the top 10 in the first several laps. The reason? Way too loose. Cannot get the truck turned, getting down into the corner. They've been on pit road a couple times, and most recently, the last lap, they came back down pit road, made a chassis adjustment, and even changed the length of the quarter glass on the right side of that 62. You guys may want to talk about aerodynamically what that may do, but they're trying to get this 62 truck tightened up to the racetrack so Brendan Gaughan can move back towards the front.
You know, it's interesting. We had 2 trucks on the front row, the fastest 2 in qualifying, obviously. We thought maybe there was some aerodynamic advantage to their trucks. They were slicker, maybe trimmed out more, and that's why they were so fast. We saw one of them go straight to the back, Brendan Gaughan. He couldn't hold on to his truck. That makes a lot of sense. But the other one, Jay, our pole sitter, he was able just to drive away. Jeb Burton drove away from folks. He's been in that clean air. It'll be really interesting to see when he gets buried what happens to Jeb Burton. Is his truck going to be as evil as Brendan Gaughan found his to be.
And remember, Brendan was surprised that they qualified so fast because they had some downforce built in that truck. But now they're putting some more downforce in it too, as Hermie was reporting.
These restarts have been so entertaining, and Jeb Burton just needs to keep getting those solid restarts so that he doesn't have to worry about what his truck's like back in all that mess.
Jeb Burton has had help from the truck behind him. Last time it was Matt Crafton that pushed him out front. Now he's going to have Kyle Busch behind him. I'm not so sure Kyle Busch is going to want to help as much as he's going to want to get by Jeb Burton early.
Well, he's going to push the heck out of him. He's going to get that push. I can promise you that. And if Kyle sees a way to drive around the outside of Jeb, then he's going to do that. But I say he pushes him down there toward turn 1 and then sees what he can do with him. But watch back second row, third row, how these trucks flare out and go for that ever-precious track position. We got to pass everybody as soon as we can.
Randy Kaiser, our pace truck driver, pulls that truck onto pit road. Field back in the hands of the 4 of Jeb Burton. He's in the outside line. Matt Crafton in the 88 on the inside line. Green flag back in the air.
The top 7 trucks stayed on the racetrack. Everybody else came in, put some fuel in these trucks.
How about a little strategy, Phil? We got to mix things up. We're going to have some different trucks coming to pit road during different times. This place has got a big Daytona Talladega feel to it. Look at all that pack of trucks, differing strategies.
Hornaday with a big run in the 9. That green truck way out of the line was able to keep it going and keep it straight. Now it's Jeb Burton in front of, as you mentioned, Kyle Busch. Now he looks to the inside. Busch tries to take the lead away from Burton.
Nice slingshot move by Kyle Busch. He had such a run. All he had to do was turn the wheel left, and the draft just drove him by him.
There you go.
Kyle Busch in front of the field in Michigan. 3 times he's been runner-up, but never has he gone to victory lane here in a truck.
Michael, as you talked about, it's going to be very interesting now how that Ford truck of Jeb Burton responds to being back in some little bit of dirty air.
One truck is enough ahead of you to change the way your truck handles, the handling characteristics, because now Kyle Busch, as you can see, he's running into clean, fresh air. His truck is stuck to the road as good as it can be. Burton's in a different circumstance now, and he's got Matt Crafton all over the back of him.
Here comes Burton.
Jeb don't care. Let me just give it a little whirl down here on the bottom.
Burton to the inside, trying to take the lead back away. They're door to door as they work their way across the stripe. Burton leads that lap.
But Crafton is going to suck up to the back of Busch and give him a push, but Burton completes that pass. That's impressive.
Burton trying to hang on to it now as the 51 with the momentum on the high side tries to get back by. Through 1 and 2, it's Jeb Burton down the backstretch. The 51. Kyle Busch tucks in behind.
Pretty strong move by that Ford truck of Jeb Burton. He had 3 Toyotas lined up on the outside, and he was able to drive by Kyle Busch.
I don't care where you are or what the situation is. You make a power move around Kyle Busch for the lead of a truck race, that's a good job.
That's a little celebrating inside the cockpit of that truck. I just went by Kyle Busch. Jeb Burton's been dominant here. He was passed by the 51 of Kyle Busch just after the restart, but now back in front. The 2 continuing to run different lines. Jeb Burton down to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch running about in the middle.
What about Ty Dillon? He's inside the top 5. He's putting some pressure on the 17 of Timothy Peterson. Great battles inside that top 5.
Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Over the years, Michigan has not been kind to Thor Sport Racing, and Johnny Sauter caught up in another one today. What's it going to take to turn your luck around at this racetrack?
Well, I mean, I can only drive my truck. I unfortunately can't drive everybody else's truck. So, you know, you just, whatever. Carolina Nut Company, Curb Records, Toyota, everybody at Triad, great motor. TRD, just, you know, guys get loose, and you know, I tried to check up, and the guy behind you, I don't know if he can't see or if you know, just that much momentum. He runs into you, turns you sideways, and here we are wrecked again. So I don't know. I felt like all day today, I felt like I had the truck to beat just from practice yesterday. It was super comfortable, and we came from the back to the front there. We even took fuel on that first caution, and just was super stable. Proud of these guys, everybody at Thor Sport. Just not the way this is supposed to be, but just a lot of bad luck, and hopefully we can get this truck fixed again. And every time we bring this truck out, it's rocket fast, and we just don't have anything to show for it. So just proud of everybody, and unfortunate.
Okay, hope you get it turned around. That's Johnny Sauter. Let's hear from another guy that was in that accident. Hermie is standing by with the driver of 54.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace out of the care center. I can tell very, very disappointed. Can you tell us what happened on the racetrack to cause that incident?
Yeah, first of all, I'm okay, and another apologize to Ryan. We had radio troubles. We still had radio troubles all race, and I didn't know where anybody was, and I completely come down on him. So hey, at the end of their day on lap 1, but The wreck right here, I was getting a run on the 98, and all of a sudden, spotter finally says wrecking in front of me. By that time, it was too late. So I ran over the 98, and we got collected. So it's unfortunate. A brand new Toyota Tundra built for this race, and we were going to the front pretty quickly. Yeah, it was like the 8 just lost it there. I don't know. I mean, we just turned Johnny right there. So I had nowhere to go. Just mind your own business, being patient, trying to get our way up to the front, and it just sucks it ends this way. We had a really, really fast Toyota Tundra, so hopefully Kyle or Joey can pull it off for us, and that'll be all right. But big thanks to Camping World, Good Sam, and Toyota at Oakley, and Coach on to Bristol.
It's Bubba Wallace. Very disappointed with his result today, but certainly a rising star in this series.
Yeah, 2 dejected drivers there that we heard from. Johnny Sauter obviously trying to avoid Max Gresham, who spun in front of him, and Bubba Wallace talking about, didn't hear early enough. It really ultimately has got to fall back in the driver's hands, though. He's got to be the one that sees things happen in front of him.
I think we heard a Johnny Sauter there that is just a little bit amazed at what all's gone wrong with his truck. As fast as it was, we talked about him starting in the front, going to the back, and racing his way back to the front. I think he's really surprised that things haven't gone better. We got a battle for the lead. Ooh, it looked like Kyle Busch was going to pull up on the outside, but keep your eye on that 3 truck of Ty Dillon. He's been able to make some strong moves. Right now, he's drafting with Matt Crafton. He's pushed Matt right up to the back of the battle of the lead. Look for Dillon to make his way to the front. Look, diving to the bottom.
How about calling it right there? Ty Dillon easily getting by Matt Crafton, so he'll take the position away. Now, Ty Dillon in the 3rd spot. He'll reel in that 51.
That may be one of the easiest passes I've seen. I don't know if Ty was that strong or Matt Crafton realized he was being passed and checked up a little bit to give him some room, but that 3 truck looks extremely strong.
Yeah, I've been watching him race up through there, and he's making some moves I don't see anyone else making. Here comes James Busher. He's on the bottom of John West Townley. Those guys are racing back in the 7th and 8th and 9th spots. So James Busher, another truck that the word on the street was had a really fast truck in race trim, is making his way to the front. Look at this move Miguel Paludo tries to make on John West Townley. Thought better of it, but had a big run down into turn 1.
And you heard him get out of the throttle there. As we were riding along, you could hear him get out of that accelerator, which you don't see a lot at this big racetrack. You've got to keep it down to keep that momentum up, but there he had to check up a little bit because of John West Townley in his line.
And a lot of these guys are running a lot of the laps faster than the track record here, and recently with 30-some laps on their tires, they're still running faster than the old track record, again with the same rule package.
I think Kyle Busch has been trying to figure out a way around Jeb Burton, and Ty Dillon is going to make him try a little harder. Kyle's going to have company. I believe they will be able to maybe team up and push by Burton because of the speed in that 3 truck. Definitely the fastest truck of those right now is Ty Dillon in the 3. He could get a hold of the back of Kyle Busch and push him to the lead.
How big is manufacturer loyalty? Because now you've got a Chevy, a Toyota, and a Chevy. Does Ty Dillon leave the 51 hanging and try to get up there with Jeb Burton?
I think Ty Dillon wants the lead, whether it's passing the Chevrolet or Toyota right now. I don't think he's seeing manufacturer. I think he's seeing the lead.
Every man for himself. It's interesting, too, to see that move Matt Crafton made when the 3 of Ty Dillon got there. Matt just sort of laid over and let him go. We heard him talk early in the season about he had to win, he had to win. Now with this huge point lead, he's thinking he just needs to top 5 it to win this championship, and maybe that's why he laid over and gave that spot away. He's still in that top 5.
And Hermie, we've been watching what the 3 of Ty Dillon has been doing on the track. What have you been saying on the radio?
Well, to think somebody who's coming through the pack like Ty Dillon, it makes you think maybe they made some big adjustments on their pit stop and made their truck a lot better. But I just asked Marcus Richmond, the crew chief on the 3 truck, when you came down pit road, what was Ty saying and what did you guys do? He said, we made no changes, went back on the racetrack. This track position is what's making the difference. And the closer they're getting to the faster trucks, this truck is really pulling up through the air nicely to give him a good run, especially on the entry to the corners. I believe if that 3 truck can get out front, he may be hard to beat.
And right there, the 4 of Jeb Burton moved to the bottom of the racetrack. That opened the door for Kyle Busch. He was able to slingshot by on the outside of Jeb Burton, takes the lead away.
You know, I think Kyle Busch was so close to the 4 of Jeb Burton for the last number of laps. I think he was getting that truck a little bit loose, and I think Jeb Burton said, let me get in behind here, get in a little bit of a comfortable spot, work on this thing a little bit on the pit stop, because I think right now he's falling in behind the 3 truck of Ty Dillon. And remember, Ty Dillon is one of the trucks that came to pit road on a most recent caution, so he probably is in a window that he can make it on one more stop. Right now, Kyle Busch, he's last stopped on lap number 17. He's going to have to stop a couple more times.
At least 55 laps remaining. We could go with a green-white checkered. 3 attempts at that. So the checkered flag scheduled to come out in 55 laps.
These two are still trying to figure that 7th spot out, but just look how fast Ty Dillon got around Jeb Burton. He didn't mess around with Jeb at all, passed him 1 lap. Kyle had to work on him forever, and look where Ty's wound up now, right on the tailgate of Kyle. So the 3 truck is definitely faster. See how long it takes him to grab this lead, or if he is able to do so.
Looks to the bottom now, trying to work his way by that 51 of Kyle Busch. When Ty Dillon got his first win a year ago, it was passing the 51 of Kyle Busch, and that was quite a celebration for that young man.
Well, we talked a little bit ago how seldom anyone does that, passes Kyle Busch. Ty Dillon did it at Atlanta to win the darn race. That was some great racing in Atlanta.
But it seems as though if you're going to pass Kyle Busch or have a chance, it's going to be here at Michigan. 3 second-place finishes for Kyle here at this racetrack.
And it also seems if you're going to pass him, it's going to be for the lead, because he usually winds up in the lead.
Herman, what's the 51 team talking about?
Well, they're a little bit tight right now, Rick. Tight under from the center of the corner on the straightaway. He's having to put too much wheel into the front of it, scrubbing off some speed. But Rick Rand just held up a sign to his pit guys. They're going to pit on lap 57, about 8 laps from now, 9 laps from now, and put 2 right side tires on and try to free up the 51.
Pit strategy early when a lot of these drivers came onto pit road on lap 17. Didn't take tires, just fuel. Battle for the 3rd spot. Jeb Burton had it. Now it's Matt Crafton that will take it away.
Looks like Jeb's truck has fallen off just a little bit, and you would expect if you're going to have a handling issue, it's going to be after you get a number of laps on the tires. Remember, Jeb's one of the trucks that last pitted on lap number 17 with fuel only.
And as the further he drops back in the running lineup, that's more aerodynamic turbulence he's going to be faced with, and possibly more issues he will experience with his handling.
Right now, this race having a green flag run to it. We've gone quite a few laps under green conditions as we see the 62 of Brendan Gaughan trying to get by the 18 of Joey Coulter.
Remember, Brendan had to work on his truck. They did quite a few modifications trying to put a little more downforce to tighten that truck back up. That South Point Casino Chevrolet right now on the inside of John West Townley,
fighting for the
Joey Coulter, sorry, in the Fox Sports 1 truck.
Continuing to fight for that 12th spot. Coulter on the outside. Gaughan has to drop back, falls in behind him.
He certainly made that truck better for Brendan. Fell back outside the top 20 earlier on, and now he's raced all the way up to 12th place, excuse me, racing for that 12th spot.
Kyle Busch is going to cross the stripe, and that will be the halfway point of this race as we see the 19 of Joey Logano on pit road, right?
And he gets into his pit stall awfully quickly. He's down all the way at the end of pit road. They're going to put Sunoco gas in this draw-tight Ford, and they're also going to do 2 tires, but they're having a problem getting the right front tire off, working on the fender there a little bit. It is hung up for some reason, and this is going to be a lengthy stop for Joey Logano. Once they get that tire off, they will put it on, but a planned 2-tire stop to try to get quick track position goes awry as they have problems on the right front.
We've talked about the clearance, these fenders on the tires, and that's a situation where that tight clearance caused a long pit stop.
We talked about how the advantage to the guys with experience, Joey Logano, I'm sure, got to pit road well, but the guys weren't able to get that right front tire off, so that's going to negate all the advantage. He was running 5th when he came down pit road.
Yeah,
top 2 stay nose to tail.
That also will change his strategy moving forward. He'll know that he better get off sequence with these other guys, pit sometime when maybe under caution when no one else does, so he can make changes and not lose that track position. When you understand you have a problem, that's when the crew chief has to go to work. Open up his playbook and say, all right, how can I change up my strategy in order to overcome what we just gave away?
Kyle Busch came on pit road on lap 17. Ty Dillon came onto pit road on lap 26. So Kyle Busch will have to make his way to pit road quite a bit sooner than the 3 of Ty Dillon.
That's that differing strategy that we saw earlier. A lot of trucks pitted, some didn't. First 6, I think, stayed on the track, and so we're going to see a lot of trucks coming to pit road now. Right when you need a caution. One won't fly, right?
That's right. Mentioned the fuel window. In the high 30s, low 40s as far as laps that they can go. And now Kyle Busch, like I said, mentioned he pitted on lap 17. So coming up to his pit window, see the 98 of Johnny Sauter made it back out onto the track. A lot of damage to the back of that truck. One lap and back onto pit road.
Right now, Ty Dillon is the only truck in the top 6 that pitted after that lap 17 caution pit stop. So I think just about the rest of our top 6 are going to be to pit road here momentarily, and he's going to leave Ty out there by himself.
That thing is solid, too. He's getting ready to watch Kyle Busch peel on the pit road and lay down some lap times with the lead. That's got to be a great feeling for Dillon, knowing he's got gas, knowing he's got a fast truck, and knowing he's getting ready to get the lead. No sense in pushing it. You're going to get the lead. Let's let that 51 truck of Kyle Busch come to pit road, because y'all know he's not going to lay over. Kyle Busch will race you till your wheels fall off if he has to. He's not giving up that lead.
Guys like Crafton and Jeb Burton also pitting on lap 17. We know they've got to pit. They've been falling off of the pace that these top 2 have been able to put down. So should they come to pit road a little bit earlier? Maybe get fresh tires, fuel, get back out on the track, try to gain some ground on these 2.
Well, I think right now these guys are running such fast lap times. I'm not sure how much the tires are going to help. So right now, that's what I'm a little bit worried about. When Ty Dillon is left on the racetrack running by himself, he's not going to have that draft. These 2 trucks are running faster than 1 truck, so Ty may be all by himself on the racetrack, and that may slow down his lap times.
You talk about the significance and the importance of the draft, Bill. Back in the 7th spot, James Busher last time by was our fastest truck. He's running 7th, obviously getting some pull, getting some help.
There's that caution
and a caution
for.
Debris in turn 2. Looks like a spring rubber.
Sure is, with a little bit of a handle on it, so the pit crew guys can snatch it out of there if they need to.
And that thing flying through the air could bust a window, knock a nose off.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of things
go
that
through a
could go
radiator.
wrong.
Right. It looks as though Joey Logano will be the free pass recipient. So a huge break for him. What could have been horrible had he not been in line to get that free pass with his caution flag. He's already made his green flag pit stop.
Logano is the first truck that's a lap down, the highest scored lap down truck. So that would be why he would be able to get that free pass.
And just as you talked, Michael, they know they're going to have trouble getting that right front tire off. You see Max Gresham with a flat left rear tire. Now may be the time to come in. He's got nothing to lose. He has the free pass. He's going to start at the back of the pack anyway. Take your time. Put 4 more tires on that truck. And no, we're not going to change right sides again. We're not even going to try it.
That takes care of that problem. And that's what you're looking for. A chance to switch things up, change your playbook, pull out a different one.
Michael, you were looking at how many laps we have to go. Could somebody stretch it, get all the way to the checker with just this stop?
Oh, there's probably somebody going to try, and it's right on the edge, Rick, as fate would have it. Let's get a few caution laps, and we're definitely going to try to take advantage of a full tank of fuel and making it to the end.
And we may see some guys come in and top off as they give the 1 to go signal too.
44 laps remain, just on the outside of what we've talked about, the fuel window or pit window for these trucks. Kyle Busch in front, Ty Dillon running second.
But in NASCAR racing, these smart crew chiefs, they pit when they're on the outside of their window. They know they're going to get a couple caution flag laps sometime between now and the end of the race. That means they've got their pit stop done and they can make it to the end.
4 cautions already in this one as we've passed the halfway point. Trucks on their way to pit road. Ray Dunlap.
Timothy Peters just came on and asked his crew chief Butch Hilton, can we roll the dice here and go with 2 tires? He said absolutely not. We need packed full of fuel, so we've got plenty of time to do 4. They'll go up a half a pound on the right rear air pressures, down a half a pound on the left rear. It'll be a 4-tire stop for the Spartan Toyota. Hermie?
We'll raise the 3 truck of Ty Dillon on the pit road. They were talking about 2 tires if they stopped on the green, but they're going with 4 tires on this stop. No adjustments. Kyle Busch a little bit tight. Center off. They'll take 4 tires, a chassis adjustment, and some Sunoco fuel in the race off pit road. It's a drag race between Paluto and Kyle Busch.
An impressive Miguel Paluto 2-tire stop. And the 51 of Kyle Busch, a 4-tire stop, and those 2 raced off of pit road.
Huge problems for Ty Dillon, though. He's still on pit road here. He will lose all the track position.
What happened to that truck?
Looked like it might have fallen off the jack on the left side. I'm not sure. I looked from our broadcast position. I saw it look like it maybe had fallen off the jack on the left side, but a huge, horrible break for Ty Dillon.
Yeah, if you're looking at the nose of that truck at home and saying, that's what's wrong with it, the front end's all off the ground. Well, that's normal. When they're going slow, the nose is up in the air. When they bat the gas and get the aerodynamics pushing down on the truck, it goes down in the front. So that's not it. Looks weird, though, doesn't it?
Sure does. We saw Marcus Richmond, crew chief, get down off the pit box.
He's got to go investigate what happened here.
Looks like the right side, everything went well. Left front tire got away. That's maybe waiting for the left front tire.
Oh, they dropped the jack.
It either dropped it or it fell off the jack.
Maybe the left rear was done and the jack man dropped it, or indeed it might have fallen. And that won't hurt that truck, I don't believe. It just hurt his track position. But man, it's going to be interesting to see if this young man can scramble through the field. Fastest truck early.
There's that race off you were talking about.
Very tight race there between Miguel Paludo and Kyle Busch coming off of pit road. '88 of Matt Crafton also getting hit with a penalty. Tire went out of the pit box, so he'll have to restart at the back of the longest line here at Michigan. Past the halfway point, Miguel Paludo out in front of the field. He won the race off of pit road. Just 41 laps remain in the Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple.
We can make it, right, Phil?
I think so.
Yeah. 41 laps.
Especially with maybe another caution, a couple caution laps.
Paludo also making the choice of the outside line. They work their way out of turn 4. Green flag back in the air. Kyle Busch on the inside. Paludo with a great restart. Kyle Busch, after he passes the stripe, will fall in behind that 32 of Miguel Paludo.
We saw the team of Brendan Gaughan make many changes to that 62 truck, and we saw Brett Moffitt in the 16 truck on the outside there, 4th in line. He hit the wall earlier, and now he's inside the top 5, so some strategy by these teams to get that track position. Miguel Paludo with the lead. Brendan Gaughan trying to squeeze back in line, couldn't quite fit.
Wasn't a spot for him, so that South Point 62 Chevrolet will fall back, losing numerous positions on this restart. Battle for the lead. Kyle Busch to the inside, trying to get by Miguel Paludo.
We've seen that 32 truck of Miguel Paludo have a lot of speed this year as we watched Jeb Burton dart from out around the 62 truck of Brendan Gaughan.
Still door to door, these two racing for the lead as they go to turn number 1. Paludo on the outside, Kyle Busch on the inside.
What about Miguel Paludo? He wasn't about to lay over. He's fighting hard on the outside. Here comes some help from behind. Brett Moffitt is going to get a run on Kyle Busch. Kyle squeezes back in line. Really fast running here on the front, on the back straightaway.
Kyle Busch was able to lead that last lap, so he gets credited with now leading at 15 laps. The most laps led have been Jeb Burton at 41 laps early in this race.
Remember, Joey Logano just got the free passing. He's already raced his way up into the top 10. Now he's running 4th.
Joey Logano in 1 lap made up 4 spots. As you mentioned, just got the free pass.
I guarantee he's
3 wide behind him.
Trying to go 4 wide.
4 wide as they come out of turn 2.
I guarantee Logano's smiling too. You put a truck in the hands of a cat like Joey Logano and let him race up through the field into the top 5, that's a great feeling.
A lot of pressure being put on the 32 of Miguel Paludo by Kyle Busch. Ron Quiroga in the 77 has Ty Dillon behind him.
These guys know right now that that may have been our last caution flag, but we may race this thing to the end. We don't want to be hung back in 8th or 10th spot without a chance to win.
Speaking of that, you see a couple of our tough trucks in the back. There's Ty Dillon and Matt Crafton still in the back.
Coming off of turn number 4, the 19 of Joey Logano. Wow, what a close call.
It looked like Max Gresham in the 16 truck lost the front end of that truck, had to squeeze out of the throttle. When he did, Joey Logano just turned left.
Brett Moffitt in the 16.
Moffitt, I'm sorry.
Cat-like reflexes and experience is the reason why Logano was able to slip underneath Moffitt when he slid up. Joey's seen a little bit of everything. He's a veteran at the age of 22.
He's a veteran, and yet only 23 drivers have won in all 3 series. Joey Logano hasn't won in the trucks yet.
In all fairness, he hasn't run that many races in the truck series. He is running a handful of races this year for Brad Keselowski Racing. Already has a runner-up finish, but hasn't got to victory lane yet. But what an outstanding job by Moffitt and that brand new team for Shiggy Hattori, that 16 Goodyear truck.
Oh, John West is around.
John West Townley in the 7, trying to stay out of the wall. He does. Now can everyone avoid him behind? They do.
And he avoids the wall. He was running in the 6th spot. We saw him earlier in this event almost spin around, and it got away from him that time. That looked a whole lot like what we saw Max Gresham do and collect some other trucks. So luckily, nobody hit Townley. He needs to be careful. That right rear tire is flat, and it could do a lot of damage to that truck if it blows out.
A couple drivers decided to go down pit road to avoid the sliding 7, which is perfectly okay to do. Yep, as long as you decrease your speed on pit road.
You see, it just gets hung out. He's running all by himself. He does a great job keeping it out of the outside wall.
Stayed in the throttle until he got into the grass.
All the other competitors doing an outstanding job to avoid him. I mean, none of you watch. He's just running along in the groove there, virtually running wide open, though.
I think that's what it's really interesting for the folks at home to understand. These guys leading the race, running in 7th or 8th.
Coming to the bottom, clear on the top, stay up there.
They're all running on the edge of control. It doesn't matter what position they're in. They're running those trucks as hard as they can go. Watch these evasive moves made. Ty Dillon smart right down pit road. Dakota Armstrong as well.
To give him as much room as you can to allow him to stop that truck.
John West Townley goes around bringing out caution number 5.
And these caution laps should be enough cushion for these guys to be comfortable to make it to the end.
So the 7 of John West Townley will make his way onto pit road to get at least right side tires. Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple continues here on Fox Sports 1. Under our 5th caution at Michigan International Speedway. This time it was John West Townley that goes around. Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple. And so they go to work on the right side of the Zaxby's number 7 of John West Townley.
You don't always get a chance to spin around at 180 miles an hour and get new tires and just go again, try more. It's a pretty good break there, Phil.
Yeah, and he gives him enough fuel that he knows he can get to the end of the race.
Turn this into a positive somehow. Put a little wedge in it. Adjust it, get it where he can charge. He can make it all the way to the finish.
How about Joey Coulter, though, in the 18?
Yeah, we're getting
Any
ready.
questions?
Getting ready for one to go. Let's see if we can chat with Joey. Hey, Joey Coulter, we've got about 1 lap to go here. This is Phil Parsons up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. Pretty good run so far up in the top 10.
So far so good. You know, the guys did an awesome job at this Fox Sports 100 getting the backup out and really nailing it. I mean, they hit it right on the money. So I'm excited for these last few laps here and look forward to getting to the front.
All right, now since that's a backup truck, is that Fox Sports 2 you're driving, or is it Fox Sports 1 also?
This is Fox Sports 1.5. It's a good hot rod. We've raced this truck a few times this year, and like I said, the guys did a fantastic job getting this thing right on the money right off the bat.
All right, buddy, we appreciate it. Give that thing a good ride the rest of the way.
We got to appreciate you guys.
We don't have a channel, Fox Sports 1.5, so let's call it Fox Sports 2. We have one of those channels, and we have a Fox Sports 1, not a 1.5.
Well, Joey's done a nice job of ushering us up to today, the launch of Fox Sports 1. That truck's been a part of the story all weekend. I think it's very impressive what Harold Holley and that team was able to do, pulling out a backup truck, getting it set up to where Joey Coulter can race inside the top 10. And he's not done yet. I think he thinks maybe a top 5 finish is in his future.
And he qualified in the top 10 without 1 lap in that truck.
He's going to restart on the outside of the 88 of Matt Crafton. It'll be Miguel Paludo and Kyle Busch making up row number 1. Then it's Timothy Peters and Joey Logano just behind him in row 2. Brett Moffitt, Brendan Gaughan back there in row 3. Then it's Jeb Burton and James Busher in row 4. And our top 10, Matt Crafton and Joey Coulter making up row 5. Green flag back in the air. Miguel Paludo back on the gas.
He got a great jump last time on Kyle Busch.
Well, dead even that time, weren't they?
Yeah, and look at Timothy Peters trying to think about looking on the inside. Peters' strategy has been solid, Phil. We talked about yesterday. He had a fast truck. He was able to quit practice early, loved what he had, and look at him up in the 3rd spot, racing for the lead off turn 2.
There's Logano on the outside following the 32 of Paludo. Logano in the blue truck.
That's going to get Kyle Busch out of the way. Paludo's going to clear Busch, and here comes Logano with him.
Joey Logano trying to push that 32 of Miguel Paludo out to the front and follow behind to hold on to the 2nd spot. And Logano's going to take 2nd away from Kyle Busch.
Kyle will whip up to the high side ahead of Brendan Gaughan. Timothy Peters in the 17 green truck back to the 5th spot.
Boy, it looks like you can get down on the bottom like Brett Moffitt in that 16 blue truck is and get hung out to dry, just like we're at Daytona Talladega.
Now trying to choose the right line. Joey Logano has been able to work his way up after getting the free pass to the 2nd spot. Now trying to get by Miguel Paludo.
That'll mean the safest way to make a move will be around the high side. Who has the truck to drive around the high side, though? We haven't seen a whole lot of it. Looks like Kyle Busch is testing the waters up top, seeing if there's anything there. You get somebody squeezed down to the bottom, they'll fall out of line instead of you.
We saw the 3 truck of Ty Dillon make some nice moves on the inside. His truck was strong right on the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's in the middle of a, on the inside of a 3-wide battle.
Jeb Burton down to the bottom of the track in the 4. Matt Crafton moves up the racetrack in that 88.
See Kyle Busch now down to the inside of the 19 of Joey Logano.
Behind him, the racing 4 position.
Look at that big push. Brett Moffitt in the 16 is able to give our point leader, Matt Crafton, allowing him to clear that pack.
Logano trying to hold off the 51 of Kyle Busch. Those two racing for 2nd.
Kyle was waiting for the words he wanted to hear. Clear. He never heard it because he never quite cleared Logano. Joey fought back on the outside.
Good run at the bottom of the track. Here comes Brendan Gaughan. A move on the outside, but it's Kyle Busch who moves up to 2nd in front of Joey Logano.
Wow. Looks like Brendan Gaughan got there just a little bit too late for Joey Logano. Didn't give him that aerodynamic push he needed to hold Busch off. Kyle to 2nd.
Our leader, Miguel Paludo, was loving those guys racing side by side. Now he sees that 51 truck of Kyle Busch looming large in his mirror.
And it looks like Kyle's thinking about that high side. Made a move to the top, but Miguel's done an amazing job in the front. 2 tires, got that track position, and has been able to hold it.
Riding along with Kyle Busch. We'll see what line Miguel Paludo chooses. A little bit higher line, so Kyle Busch tries to go down a little bit lower, and then you see Miguel Paludo pinching it down just a little bit lower as well, trying to take the air off of the hood on the front end of that 51 of Kyle Busch.
You got to be driving out of your mirror right now if you're Miguel Paludo. You don't want that 51 truck to do anything that'll surprise you. If you're not watching what he's doing, you're not doing your job. So you got to multitask. We need to make a turn at 180 while looking in the mirror.
And Kyle Busch goes on the bottom 1 corner. He goes to the high side on the next corner.
Again, the air on the front end of these trucks so important. Kyle Busch, whenever Miguel Paludo chooses a line, chooses a different one. So now he's going a little bit lower. Miguel Paludo pinches it down once again. Kyle Busch stays behind him.
We're 3/4 of the way through this race, and Miguel Paludo just ran his last lap faster than...
Oh, and around goes the 77. Armand Quiroga trying to hang on to it, trying to stay out of the inside wall. He'll kiss the wall with the back and then smash that right front into the wall as well.
That was looked like he was going to save it, not get it on that inside wall. He was running in the 14th position.
That was he nearly kept that thing out of the wall, but just barely clipped it. A lot of damage to his body, and it looks like his suspension as well. You can see it's not tracking properly.
So the caution comes out for the 6th time. Now the question is 25 laps enough to come in and do something to your truck and lose track position but still be able to battle to the front?
I think if I have enough fuel, I think I want to stay out, because I don't think tires would be much of an advantage. We've had enough caution laps since most of these teams pitted on lap number 57. I think I want to stay out and keep my track position.
Plus our leader got 2 tires, and he's holding off all those guys that got 4, so you never know. These crew chiefs might have something up their sleeve, maybe making a late adjustment on the truck. Oh, wow. Just a classic example of getting loose down the inside of another truck and driving it all the way to the end. You got to give Armand Quiroga a lot of credit there. He never gave up and almost kept it out of the wall.
Yeah, he turned it left right here to avoid driving that 24 truck of Brendan Newberry into the outside wall.
Trying to hang on to it, keep it out of the inside wall, just kisses it with the back of the truck, and then it comes around and slaps the right front. So damage to the 77 of Ron Quiroga, bringing out our 6th caution. Great crowd on hand here in Michigan. It's going to be a sprint to the finish for the Michigan International Speedway, Michigan National Guard 200. Inside of 23 laps remaining, and running 2nd is Kyle Busch. I don't think he wants to stay there, though, Hermie.
He does not want to stay there, but he does want to stay on the racetrack. They did not pit. His crew chief, Ryan Fiegel, did not want to give up that track position and get back in dirty air in lap traffic. One comment, though, Kyle Busch made on the radio was he asked his spotter to relay to NASCAR to ask the 32 of Miguel Paludo to keep pace on the restart. He thought Miguel Paludo was slowing down to try to get a run on a restart, so Kyle has asked NASCAR to keep an eye on that. Ray Dunlap.
I'm keeping an eye on Joey Logano for you, Hermie, and he is driving a truck they call Hutch. He said it is awesome. Whether it's in dirty air or clean, he feels like they've got a truck good enough to win. Now, remember, they last pitted back on lap 50, so for a while, they were very concerned about whether or not they would have enough fuel. But with this caution, Chad Kendrick, the crew chief, gave me the thumbs up, said they are fine, they're ready to go, and Joey Logano says, I wanted to kind of drop to the back and run through the pack again. It's a lot of fun. Chad said, I like our track position just where we are.
Well, and we could have a situation where two Cup drivers gang up on these Truck Series regulars. You've got Kyle Busch on the inside of row number 1 and Joey Logano on the inside of row 2. The two of them could work together to move right to the front.
Remember, we talked at the very top of the show about how experience could play a factor. I think we're done with our pit stop, so that part of it's out of the equation. But on track is very much alive.
2 by 2, they come back. Green flag in the air. Miguel Paludo on the outside. Kyle Busch on the inside.
Look at Logano giving Kyle that push. That's experience, Phil, because he knows Kyle can handle it. He knows if he pushes on him a little bit, he's going to be okay. On the outside, though, here comes Paludo trying to fight back. Busch moves up in front of him and grabs the lead.
And he can thank Joey Logano for that. Joey pushed him enough, but look what it's going to cost Joey.
Joey Coulter moves all the way to the bottom of the racetrack in the 18, gets by that 19 of Joey Logano, and Joey Coulter moves up into the top 5, running in the 5th spot.
Watch Joey Logano fight back underneath the 60 of Dakota Armstrong. He's trying to push Kyle Busch by for the lead, cost him all those positions. See Jeb Burton now, the 4 truck going by on the inside. He's caught in the middle.
He said to his crew chief he wanted to go to the back to run to the front again because it was a lot of fun. Well, I think he got his wish that is going to come true now.
I don't think he really wished that. Did the 51 beat Miguel Paludo to the line? Bit of an advantage there for Kyle Busch, and he took that advantage of beating Paludo to the line to grab the lead.
I think the NASCAR officials will watch that, and did Miguel Paludo go first? If he went first and just wasn't able to get up to speed, then to me that would be a good no call.
And the reason we bring that up, most recently Jimmy Johnson had to check up because he was in front during a Cup race. They made him go to the back after that restart, so a lot of drivers worrying about making sure that the leader of the race gets to the start-finish line first. Kyle Busch out in front of this field. Miguel Paludo running second. Brendan Gaughan, Timothy Peters, and James Buescher, your top 5. And Joey Coulter, he runs in the 6th spot. And Jeb Burton, after winning the pole earlier, has dropped all the way back to the 14th position. What's going on, Hermie?
Well, Rick, we want to keep an eye on him because he was on pit road on this most recent caution, the only one of the leaders that came down pit road since he got back in traffic. His truck has been very, very tight. So they came down pit road for 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and tried to free Jeb up and try to race his way back up to the top 5.
Guys, we talked about it. That 4 truck looked so good out front, but we wondered what would happen. It was so much faster in qualifying than the rest of the field. We wondered what would happen to that truck when it got back in some dirty air, and obviously it's not as good as it was out front.
It hasn't gone well at all. He's gotten stuck in the back and hasn't been able to make any progress. On the other hand, there's been other trucks. Joey Logano comes to mind. Johnny Sauter early in the race that were able to drive through traffic. So it's definitely the truck and not the track or conditions that enable these guys to go or not.
We saw Ty Dillon able to make his way through the field. Ty Dillon right now runs in the 8th spot.
Miguel Paludo running so strong in that 32, holding on to the 2nd spot just behind Kyle Busch. A year ago it was his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. who played the fuel mileage strategy and was able to get his win here at Michigan.
Remember, he parlayed a spin. That's what caused him to have to use that strategy. He had to come to pit road, put tires on it, but that was the pit stop that really put him in position to get that win.
And now it's Kyle Busch out in front looking for his first win in the trucks at Michigan. Big run by the 88 of Matt Crafton down to the bottom of the track, trying to go by 3 trucks through The trial and just doesn't get by Joey Coulter, and now that outside line starts to move again.
Oh, and Crafton wiggles up the hill, loses his truck, and is able to hang on to it, but all that gain lost.
What a run he had off of turn number 4, but then lost it all at the bottom of the track.
We had Ty Dillon pushing his former teammate, Joey Coulter, to prevent that pass from happening. Dakota Logano moving up the racetrack. Dakota Armstrong did not give him room.
3 wide on the inside. Brent Moffitt right in the middle. Brendan Newberry, and on the outside, Jeff Burton. 3 young drivers here in the Truck Series.
They're racing for the 14th spot here, just outside the top 10.
Burton really needs to dig down deep. He's racing Matt Crafton for this championship. Crafton's a couple of trucks ahead of him. Burton doesn't need to give away any more points. Crafton's not on his game today, so be nice to make some progress. What about Miguel Pluto? He hasn't gone anywhere off the back of the 51 truck of Kyle Busch. He's hanging right in there along with Brendan Gaughan and James Busher. These guys are all over Busch. Be interesting to see if they can make the move. Here comes Ty Dillon. We talked about him coming through the field and having problems. He's now up to the 6th spot.
Final 15 laps. Joey Coulter riding along with him in the 7th spot. Looking forward to the 3 of Ty Dillon. Kyle Busch wants to mark off Michigan as another track that he has been able to win in the Camping World Truck Series, and he's out front now. 200 presented by Royal Purple. Out front, Kyle Busch looking for that elusive Michigan truck win. But the trucks on the move have been the 3 and the 17.
Yeah, the 17's been solid, but it's the debris on the racetrack.
Carcass of one of the tires came off. It's on the track. I'm guessing a caution will come out.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it came off of Brent Moffitt in the 16.
Well, that's heavy contact in the outside wall. That 16 truck, he hit the wall earlier in the race, overcome it, was running in the top 5, and then something happened again, got into the wall.
He might have cut that right front tire down.
How about a 7-lap shootout?
Yeah,
for the end of this one.
How about a wide open 3 wide crazy restart we're fixing to see? You can see up till he goes, maybe a right front flat like you said, Phil. He had some damage to the right side, maybe eventually cut a tire for him, and this damage will do him in.
Yeah, the carcass is going to eventually come off that tire and land on the racetrack. There it is right there.
But there, Rick, interestingly enough, late in the going, James Busher really has begun to move forward. And Ty Dillon, we've talked all day long about how fast Dillon's truck is. Busher and Dillon will restart in the 3rd and 6th spots, respectively. I believe if you put James Busher right on the inside with Miguel Pluto, I'm sure Kyle will take the outside. We could see him dive to the bottom and make them 3 wide right off the bat.
That would put Brendan Gaughan behind Kyle Busch if Kyle decides to take the outside line. And James Busher will be on the inside of row number 2. Ray standing by with his crew chief.
That would be Jeff Hensley, and you told me before the race today you thought there was a pretty good shot you might be able to get up there and go for the win. What are you telling your driver?
Well, I mean, he's doing an excellent job, but you know, we got to remember who we're racing. Kyle Busch, he's one of the best there's ever been, but no, the AccuDock Chevy's been really good all day. It's been really good since we unloaded. A little disappointed in our qualifying effort, but it's driving really good. And man, this place is so much like Daytona and Talladega now with the pavement. Goodyear brings such a good tire that track position is everything. We finally got him some track position back there at the end, and I don't know. We'll see. We got our teammate behind us on this restart, so maybe he'll push us by.
All right, great run at Pocono. They're hoping for a little more today right here at Michigan. Now let's check in with Hermie with the crew chief of 51.
Well, that's Ryan Fugel, and sitting out front looking like you single file to the end, but a caution comes out, re-rack them, start over. Number 1, what do you expect on this restart, and how close are you guys on fuel?
I'm sure it's going to be crazy. It's a truck series. That's why everybody likes to watch this series. But got the best restart man in the world, so we should be okay. Fuel with all these cautions, we should be fine. So good for at least 1 green, white checkered, and we'll see what happens. So hopefully we don't get any more, and we finish this thing out with a Toyota Carrera Tundra getting a win.
That's Ryan Fugel. He got his guy where he wants him up front on this restart. He will control the pace on the next restart, Rick.
He controlled the pace on the last one.
Let's take a look at that.
This was the last restart.
We heard earlier conversations from Kyle Busch to his team about telling NASCAR to tell the 32 truck of Miguel Paludo not to be playing games on the start. I think Kyle felt like he was laying back and getting a jump. And this time you can see they start both at the exact same time.
And I think that's why, even though the 51 of Kyle Busch beats him to the line, I think that's why there's no call, and I think it's a great no call.
They took off exactly at the same time. Kyle did not jump the 32 of Miguel Paludo, but he did beat him to the line.
Field will go 2 by 2 here momentarily as we will get ready for what could potentially be the final restart. Michigan International Speedway. Stay with us. Thanks, Molly. About ready for the end of this one. The Michigan National Guard 200 presented by Royal Purple, winding down the laps. When they come back by, it'll be 7 to go. A sprint to the finish. Miguel Paludo will be on the inside. Kyle Busch will be able to dictate the start or the restart of this.
And this race could be won or lost with this restart right here.
Yeah. You've got to do your job all day long to win a NASCAR race. Doesn't matter what the circle. If you're Kyle Busch or if you're Miguel Paludo trying to win your first race, or Kyle trying to win his 30-some race, if you do anything wrong, you won't get to victory lane. Your team has to be perfect on pit road. We saw issues with the 3 truck of Ty Dillon on pit road. He's back in the 6th spot.
And
Kyle's got to hit his shifts perfectly.
It's important the guys back here in row 2, James Busher, Brendan Gaughan, those 2 are going to be pushing. Kyle Busch or Miguel Paludo. Back in row 3, Timothy Peters and Ty Dillon. Row 4, Joey Coulter, Joey Logano. And back in row 5, Dakota Armstrong and Matt Crafton. So side by side, Kyle Busch on the outside, Miguel Paludo on the inside. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. 6 laps to go.
Great start by Paludo. He's able to stay wheel to wheel with Kyle Busch as they head toward turn 1. He's getting a push from his teammate, James Busher.
Got to get down here, not back off that throttle.
They stay door to door all the way through turns 1 and 2. Now down the backstretch. Paludo with a little bit of an advantage, but the momentum for the 51 of Kyle Busch gets him back out in front. Paludo trying to get help from his teammate James Busher, who goes all the way to the bottom of the track. The 62 of Brendan Gaughan comes up to challenge for the 2nd spot.
That's going to hurt Paludo. Gaughan's going to get by him. If he can't get in line, the whole world's going to go by him on the outside.
We saw that happen to Joey Logano a number of laps ago. Now Joey's fighting back. He's tucked in behind the 3 of Ty Dillon.
5 laps to go. Busch trying to check out on the field.
Oh, it's tough rowing down there with Paludo. As you can see him get loose. He's able to slide up the hill, but he doesn't have his momentum. There goes Busher to the inside. What will Dillon elect to do? He's going to push Paludo so that he can grab that spot away from the 31 truck of James Busher.
I think because he thinks the outside is the place to be. He doesn't want to get caught down in the inside.
What about our man Brendan Gaughan?
Here comes Brendan.
Won here 10 years ago, and he can taste victory.
Brendan Gaughan running 2nd has closed the gap now between he and Kyle Busch. 4 laps to go.
See those 3 trucks lined up on the outside trying to get by the 31 of James Busher. Paludo, the 32, the 3 of Dillon, and the 19 of Logano.
Down to the bottom of the track goes Kyle Busch in the 51, race leader. Brendan Gaughan at South Point, 62, running 2nd. Here comes the 31 of Busher. A great run. He's going to go to the bottom and battle for 2nd.
Oh, he gets a little bit loose.
Kyle Busch gets loose.
Kyle Busch gets loose. Here comes James Busher. 3 wide as they come out of turn number 4 for the lead. Busher has it now. Here comes the 32 of Paludo to the bottom of the track. He's 2nd as they cross the stripe. 3 laps to go.
Look at this big push that Ty Dillon is giving Kyle Busch. They're back on the back tailgate of Busher.
Here comes Kyle Busch once again. James Busher out in front. Kyle Busch runs 2nd.
James Busher, our defending champion, has not been to victory lane this year. Desperately wants to get there.
What a move he made up in turn 4. He went 3 wide and grabbed the lead late in the going.
Through turns 3 and 4, Kyle Busch right on the back bumper of that 31 of James Busher. Now to the high side he goes, trying to get the momentum back up. Even goes up into the gray area above the groove. 2 to go now for James Busher.
This could be a lot like Daytona and Talladega in the sense, Phil, you get a bit of a gap and a push, an aerodynamic push. That might be what it takes to win. So as Busch falls back, that could be part of his plan. He's going to get a shove from Dillon. Could they shove right by Buescher?
Here comes Ty Dillon in the 3. He's running 3rd. Joey Logano has made his way up into 4th. Big move out of line there for truck back in the 14th spot.
Looked like Joey Coulter.
This time, when they come back by the stripe, white flag will go in the air one more time around here in Michigan. Out in front, James Buescher looking for his first win of 2013. White flag in the air one more time.
What does Kyle Busch have planned? Is Ty Dillon going to go with him?
Into turn number 1. Buescher, Busch, 1 and 2.
I think James Buescher was watching the mirror. He saw Kyle Busch turn to the bottom of the racetrack, and he came down.
Here comes the push. Kyle Busch getting a little bit of shove from Dillon. Dillon decides to go low.
They've dropped back. It's 4 truck lengths back from James Buescher. Kyle Busch has finished this race second 3 times.
You can take it from here.
Might not get it here. Coming out of turn number 4. His first win of 2013. Your defending champion, James Buescher, wins at Michigan.
For you, son. I love you, buddy.
That was amazing. What a great move by James Buescher. He put it on him up there in turn 4.
Thank you. Good job, bud. Oh, yeah.
One happy bunch down there.
That Ream Chevrolet will be going to victory lane for the first time in 2013. Trying to defend the championship.
We got this, guys.
And they start off the second half of the season in victory lane.
Give up, bud.
Kyle Busch finished second for the 4th time at Michigan.
Ty Dillon with a strong truck comes home in 3rd. Let's hear from the winning crew chief. He's with Hermie.
Well, the winning crew chief is Mike Shelton. Never a bad way to win a race, but how about passing Kyle Busch and holding him off in 3 pressure pack laps to win the first race ever on Fox Sports 1?
Yeah, that's big for us. I just want to thank God. I'll thank my family. I mean, we've been struggling this year, and nobody's give up. Everybody's working hard, digging deep. Our whole team is strong right now with the 4 and the 32. I mean, apparently they kind of messed Miguel up there. Let Kyle have that restart there. I didn't think that was quite fair, but just hats off to everybody at the shop. Everybody's working hard.
Let's go celebrate in victory lane.
Thank you, bud.
That's Mike Shelton, the winning crew chief here at Michigan.
It's been a long time coming for this celebration. The Ram Guts and Glory pass of the day.
Oh, what a move it was, too. Look at this. Down to the bottom, you can see the 51 leader, Kyle Busch, a little loose. They go 3 wide, and James Buescher comes out with the lead. And, man, his job wasn't done yet, was it, Phil?
No, sure it wasn't. Then they go 3 wide again. Miguel Paluda with a nice move to the bottom. Ty Dillon, the 3 truck, pushing that 51 of Kyle Busch.
Look, Buescher was sideways when he started making this pass. That's how you make a pass. He drove it in there, got it sideways, and came out with a lead.
Hanging it right on the edge was James Buescher, and that's Guts and Glory. James is going to be able to celebrate with his family in victory lane. Stetson, their son.
That's his 5th win in the Truck Series and the first on anything but a mile and a half.
And it's even faster than a mile and a half. He likes to go fast. He's like Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast.
He did just that. Then took a shortcut to victory lane.
When you're the winner, make your path to victory lane the best way you can.
And once again, they say always the bridesmaid, never a bride. Second place, Kyle Busch with Ray.
Kyle, second place again here at Michigan. That makes number 4, but boy, that looked like a lot of fun racing out there.
It's never fun unless you win, but I don't know. Toyota Care Tundra was great today. Really, really fast. I don't know where Buescher came from, but you know, he got by us, passed us, beat us, so that's all there is to it.
Okay, Kyle Busch will get a second. James Buescher back in victory lane. Let's hear from him, and Hermie Sadler is there.
James Buescher, our defending champion, back in victory lane the first time. Been a while since we got that Gatorade bath, and your team, by the way, does that as good as anybody. Welcome back, champion, to victory lane.
Man, this little guy, his first time at the racetrack. We got Stetson in victory lane. Proud papa right now, but man, I gotta thank everybody on this team. They never give up. You know, Ream coming on board with us this year.
finally got onto victory lane. Fraternal Order of Eagles, X side, you know, Ariat boots, Tag Heuer eyewear, Alpine Stars, Bell helmets this week. My wife, all her support, take care of this little guy while I'm racing, and you know, happy to get back to victory lane. And knew yesterday we had a shot at it, but man, the first half of this race was tough, and we couldn't catch any breaks and couldn't get in position where we needed to be, and it was just a tough battling through traffic, and we got the balance right and figured out where I needed to position myself to make passes, and you know, it was entering turn 3. I did it the last 5 guys I passed was entering turn 3 and finished it off turn 4. So can't say enough about these guys. They never give up, and you know, got to go after that championship now.
James Busher hopes to hit his stride again and go for back-to-back championships. Son Stetson with him here in victory lane. Rick.
Thanks, Armick.
What a great race.
Yeah, take a look at those point standings. James Busher has moved up to 3rd now with this win, so he gains a spot.
But yet another top 10 for Matt Crafton. Just solid all day long here. Another top 10, 12 in a row.
You tune in to Fox Sports 1, you're going to see amazing battles all the way to the finish, and I think today was the race that shows you that.
5th win for James Busher, our defending champion.